Alright, so Leetcode practice time. So two things again. First one is to see how to solve this problem, which is about finding the approach for this specific coding question. And the second one, which is more general, is to see how to solve this problem properly in a coding interview. How to solve the problem in interview. So let's get started. The question is merge intervals. Given an array of intervals, and each interval is defined using a start number and the end number. Pretty sure that end number should be larger or equal to start, and we need to merge all the overlapping intervals and return an array of non-overlapping intervals that cover all the intervals in the input. So first thing is to talk about the ambiguous part. Talk about the ambiguous part and think about the edge cases. So the first thing I would like to ask is whether the input intervals are sorted in any order, because if it is not sorted, it is going to be very different from what is sorted. Other than that, let's say the edge case could be like, what if the given input is like empty? Could be a special edge case. But other than that, I think we should be good to go. So the second one is to think about the solution, how to solve this problem. So we are going to think aloud. So let's take a look at the example. So 1, 3, 2, 6, 8, 10, 15, 18. So the first thing that comes to my mind is to sort the input array using the start number. I don't think it matters much if there are two same start number, and whether we need to sort the end number or not, it doesn't really matter much, because the next part is going to drive us through the sorted interval and merge them together. So let's take an example for input 1. So for 1, 3, 2, 6, 8, 10, 15, 18. First, we see 1, 3. Then we are going to put it in a temporary linked list. So currently the linked list will have, so let's say we have a list, so it is going to have 1, 3 currently. And now we are visiting 2, 6. So we compare the start number with the end number of 1, 3. Since 2 is smaller than 3, it means it has some overlap with 1, 3. So we can merge them together to be 1, 6. And then we visit 8 and 10. Because the start number is 8, which is larger than 6, so we can say this is another interval we are going to put into our temporary linked list. And then 15, 18. So 15, 18, it doesn't have any overlap, so we are going to put it as another interval into our temporary linked list. So suppose there is another thing, which is, let's say 18, 20. Then we are going to merge it with 15, 18 to be 15, 20. So that's essentially how to solve this problem. So runtime is going to be unlocked because of the sort. And other than that, after the sorting, we are just going to do one pass, which is on. So overall, the time complexity is going to be unlocked. So we have the solution. I think currently it is best regarding the runtime. So let's do some coding. So for coding, we care about your code correctness and the code readability. So let's start to do some code. So first of all, it is to sort these intervals. So let's say arrays dot sort intervals. Let's use some lambda. So let's say if it's interval 1 and interval 2, and we are going to say interval 1 dot 0 minus interval 2 0. So now it is sorted in ascending order using the start number. Then we are going to do one pass through the sorted array. I think another thing is worth to mention is that whether we can change the order of the input. If we should definitely use some immutable things, we need to do some copy for this input thing. But we are just going to start with the assumption that we can change the input intervals. So we are going to say interval, try with the intervals. Okay, so and we are also going to define the temporary linked list, let's say, which is let's say it is merged intervals. So first of all, we are going to see if the interval can be merged with anything in the merge intervals linked list. So suppose the merged intervals linked list is empty, then we can definitely put a new interval into it. Or like what we mentioned, like 2, 6 and 8, 10, because the start number is larger than the end number of the previous interval, then we can consider to put a new thing into it, which means if merged intervals dot get merged intervals dot get lost, I think it's get lost 1 if it is smaller than interval 0, then what we are going to do is we are going to add a new thing into this linked list, which we're going to merge. We are going to add a new one. So otherwise, it means we can merge the interval we are currently looking at with the last one in the linked list. So we can just change the ending number for it actually. So dot get last 1 is equal to mass dot max merged intervals merged intervals dot get last 1 and the current thing, which is interval 1. So I think that's it. Now the last thing is to change the linked list into a 2D array. So I think we could just use the toArray function exposed by the collection. Let's say merge intervals dot toArray. I think it should be new int say merge the intervals dot size. So mostly code complete. Let's do some sanity check. So after we code complete, we can do some sanity check by manually go through this piece of code using some input examples, which is I would say testing. So now suppose let's just use the first example 1 3 2 6 8 10 and 15 18. So first of all, we are going to sort the intervals using the start number. Now we define a linked list here, and we traverse the intervals. So the first interval we are going to see is 1 3. Because the merge interval is empty, we are going to put 1 3 here. So now the linked list is 1 3, and then no, we missed the continue here. Actually, we should continue, and then we have the 2 6. So 2 6, because 2 is smaller than 3, so it is not going to jump into this if branch. Interval 0 is 2 and it is 3, which is smaller than that. Then we need to merge it. So we will get the last interval from the linked list, which is 1 3, and put the ending number as a maximum number between 3 and 6. So now we are going to update as 1 6. And then when we look at 8 and 10, we see okay, the merge interval is not empty, and also 8 is larger than 6. So it is definitely a new interval we are going to insert into the linked list. And same for 15 and 18. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's see if the empty input is going to break this piece of code. So I don't think it's going to break it because we should be able to deal with it perfectly. So let's give it a shot to see how it works. Okay, compile arrow. Okay, so some typos, merged intervals. So I think it should work. So testing, regarding the testing, test case we set up is the regular thing, which has overlapping intervals and non-overlapping intervals, and better to have a task case that is definitely not sorted, and also an edge case which is empty. And I'll say that's it for the test case setup. I should be looking good regarding the test coverage. So that's it for this coding question. I hope you find it a little bit helpful. If you like it, please like it and give it a thumb up, and I'll see you in the next video.